So the Supreme Court will hear TikTok's arguments on January 10th. Of course, the ban would kick in on January 19th if it goes through. That is a very, very quick possible turnaround. And then you add President-elect Donald Trump into the equation. How are you thinking that things will shake out from where it stands right now?
Yes, so thank you for having me. I am uh, similarly skeptical that the Supreme Court will overturn the lower court's ruling. I think the schedule of the argument means that we may hear something quickly before the effective date of the ban, uh, but I am not optimistic that the court will make a different finding ultimately. Whether or not President-elect Trump is able to change that through urging Congress to override or rescind the law or some other kind of executive action. I think we'll have to wait and see. I also don't think the Supreme Court itself will take up uh, President-elect Trump's call for a stay, uh, given the sort of lack of precedent for that kind of move.
You have been supportive of TikTok from a legal perspective. Why is that? What's the case?
I think that this law is targeted pretty explicitly at the company. The Congresspeople who talked about it at the time of its enactment earlier in 2024 said that there were major national security concerns that they had been briefed on privately. But that evidence has not been made public. And while I agree that national security is an important governmental interest, I also think that when it comes to banning a social media platform where millions of people exchange content and ideas, that evidence should be public. I did sign on to an amicus brief both in the DC Circuit and in the Supreme Court. We, in that amicus brief, argued that the law really creates some fundamental First Amendment problems that I don't think are supported by the Supreme Court precedent here. But of course, we'll have to see what the court itself says in the coming weeks.